Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors.
What's going on, everybody? This is Matt from Felix and Fingers. Welcome to another episode of the Eventful Endeavors podcast. Today, we have Bretta Thompson as our guest from Weddings by Bretta. Bretta, say hello to all the people.
Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what's going on. So, Bretta, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into weddings and sort of what it means to you now, especially in the Indianapolis area.
Well, how I got into weddings is actually a little bit of a funny, kind of interesting story. Many years ago, I was a school bus driver, and obviously, school bus drivers don't make a great deal of money. So on the weekends, I took a job as a limousine driver for a wedding venue. So I would drive around couples, their families, take people back and forth to hotels and airports and things. And I just fell in love with it. I loved weddings. I loved the vibe. I loved the energy. I just loved seeing an entire day come together and watching a couple just kind of have their best day ever. And that's really kind of how I got into it. I had a friend ask me to officiate her wedding. And I, at first, was like, why? Why would you want me to do that? And she's like, well, you're my friend. You have no problem speaking in front of crowds, and I want it to be personal. So I did. I loved it, and I thought, well, maybe this is something I could do, on the side. Never for a single second did I think that it would turn into what it has become today. So I no longer drive a school bus. I haven't for a very long time. This is my full-time job. I also stepped into wedding planning and coordination. I did that a few times back in 2015, and I really fell in love with that. So I became a certified wedding planner. And I've added, since then, 10 team members. So we have 10 people with Weddings by Bretta. I have officiants. I have a minister who can actually also provide services for couples like premarital counseling. I have other planners and coordinators, and we service Indianapolis, Southern Indiana. I've gone down to Kentucky. We go up as far as a little past Fort Wayne. But for me, this is just something that I've been doing almost 14 years now, and I cannot imagine doing anything else. It is one of the most fun jobs. Yes, it can be stressful, but it's just so much fun watching everything come together, watching it start from the very beginning, finding the venue and getting your vendors to the day arriving and just being a part of that. I mean, there's nothing like it.
What do you think makes Indianapolis or Indiana at large unique in the sense of planning weddings?
There's a lot of different venues. You've got everything from the traditional, country barn weddings to more upscale barn dominiums to we have the Rich Charles, which is on the north side in Carmel. We have such a big, I think, and we also have a lot of diversity here, a lot of diversity. I just think being in such a big city, I know we're not the biggest city. We're not Miami. We're not, Los Angeles. We're not New York City, but Indiana kind of is a melting pot. And we have a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures, but I love that we just have so many types. There's venues that you would never think you would see in Indiana who are here. And I just love that there's so many different options, and we're constantly seeing, new great venues open up. There is a lot of planners, coordinators, officiants in this area, but I don't know. I just think Indiana it's Midwest. It's close to Illinois. It's close to Kentucky and Tennessee, and people will call and ask us to do things there. I think it's just a great location. It's a great spot. It's a great city.
Cool. I agree.
And we have the Colts.
Yeah.
People may bash on the Indianapolis Colts, but hey, we won the Super Bowl.
Are you from Indianapolis?
I am from Indiana, so
Okay.
I'm born here. I've kind of lived all over throughout my life. I've lived in Texas and Washington, Colorado, but I've been here, I'd say, probably 75% of my life.
That's cool. So how important would you say is music at your weddings?
Very important. It is very important. That's one of, honestly, the first things couples kind of say, hey, we need a DJ, or we want a live band, or we want, people to come in and play a harp or a violin or guitars. People are very serious about their music, and they should be. We have couples sometimes who are a little bit more strict on, this is our do not play list, and we have some that are, we don't care, play whatever. We have people who want party vibes, but when it comes down to that reception starting, that dance floor opening, people are serious about their music, and they want someone who can really bring the party. They want someone who is going to make people want to dance, want to have fun. And they have a really specific vibe sometimes that they're really going for. So we've kind of seen a shift where people were like, we don't care, play whatever, to no, 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 no. We are looking for this. This is what we want. And they're very serious about their music.
So when couples are coming to you for planning things, generally speaking, do they know what they want for music, or are they looking to you for guidance? And if they are, what are your kind of main questions you'll ask them, or kind of how do you navigate that is what I'm kind of trying to ask you.
Yes. So if they don't have any of their vendors, we kind of just go through, who have you hired, who have you not? And when it comes time for the music side of it, many of them are like, no, 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 no. We know what we want. This is what we want. We just don't know where to find it. Or we're unsure. We might want a band. We don't know if we want a DJ. We don't know if we just want to have, a trio. We're not for sure. So I'll kind of talk to them about it. What's your style? What music do you like? Do you typically go to live concerts, or do you go to smaller venues, or even, the small bars who might have a new artist come in? So asking them what their music preferences are. We have some people who are very strictly country. We have some people who are rock. We have some people who like all of it. They like everything from Sinatra, to AC/DC. They're just kind of all over the place. But we really kind of sit and say, are you looking more for a live band, live music, or are you looking more towards the DJ vibe? Are you wanting something that feels maybe like you're kind of at a club in New York or something like that? So we really kind of sit and talk about what they like, what interests you, what most attracts you to the music. And that really kind of helps navigate them down that path of, okay, yeah, we think this is the way that we want to go.
Anybody ever asked for dueling pianos?
No. And I'm extremely interested in that. And I can't wait until they do, because we kind of had that conversation about one of my favorite movies. And I was like, I would love to see that.
Oh, yes, I have that written down. I haven't gotten around to watching it. The famous
Fabulous Bake Brothers.
Brothers, right? Cool. So everyone out there who's listening to this right now, make sure you watch the movie Fabulous Baker Brothers. Bretta gives it the stamp of approval.
Oh,
That's
yes.
what you need to know.
2 thumbs up. Yeah, you cannot pass up a Jeff Bridges movie. I love him.
Cool. So for this summer, what would you say your most exciting event you've got going this summer is that you're most looking forward to?
Oh my goodness. I mean, aside from my trip to Vegas in 4 weeks,
Ooh, yeah.
for the 19th time, gosh, we're just at some really great, some of them, we're at some of my most favorite venues. There's one in Indy called the Conservatory at Evergreen. It's just like this huge, ginormous glass greenhouse, and it's just got so much light, and there's so many options. It's just a beautiful venue. So I love any time that we are at the conservatory. Same with Bayhorse in Greenwood. We love it. It's a more upscale, modern. It's not really a barn. I know the word barn's in it, but coordinating for me. That's all that I want to do. I love officiating. I still do it, but I love being a part of it. I just love, and I hate to use the word control, but I just kind of love managing and controlling a couple's day so that they can enjoy it. They can wake up, get pampered, have fun, take silly selfies, and drink mimosas, and just get married and not worry about anything else.
Did you feel like there was a learning curve to get to that place where you feel like you are just like, give me the ball, let me do it. You go do whatever. I got this for you. Did it take you a while to feel like you were at that level?
It took me a little bit. I mean, anything that you had never done before, and then you start dipping your toes into that water and you start getting a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper into it. Yeah, it sure does. I mean, but I am kind of a sponge. I didn't go into it just haphazardly. I didn't just go, oh, well, gee, I think I'll coordinate and plan weddings now. Not how I did it. I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right, because I want to be able to provide the absolute best service that I can to every person who comes to me. I want them to know they can trust me. I want them to know that they're with someone who is experienced, who knows what they're doing, who knows those questions to ask, who knows those red flags, who can help them move forward and not feel overwhelmed and not feel stressed. I wanted to be able to provide that very comforting place for people who come to me. And so I really just absorbed and I read and I studied and I took those certification courses and classes. I still take them. I am not a person who says, oh, I've been doing this for, 14 years. I know everything. No, I don't. I think that when a person says that, they stop learning and they stop growing because trends change, things change, times change. And I just feel you have to constantly keep learning and educating yourself and keeping up on those things so that you can continue to provide those things to your couples who come to you. Because we sometimes get asked some crazy things. It's like, okay, that's a new one. I thought I'd heard everything, but that's a new one. So just kind of staying present and constantly learning and keeping up on things is very, very important, no matter what niche that you're in.
So what would you say for you specifically? Because I know there's a lot of weddings that happen in Indianapolis and Indiana, and there's lots of planners, lots of venues, lots of people involved in that ecosystem. What would you say you specifically as an individual is your thumbprint, your identity, your impact specifically to you that you feel like you've made or what you're bringing to the table in this Indianapolis wedding market that only you are doing and are capable of doing?
I don't know that I myself do something that nobody else does because coordinating, planning, officiating, I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't know that I specifically do anything. I do feel that my coordination services go a little more in depth and a little bit deeper than a lot of other people who coordinate weddings, who manage the days. I offer services typically that they won't. We include services typically that they will consider an add-on. I try to make ours very inclusive. I try to say, listen, you're going to get your decor set up. We're not going to charge you extra for that. I'm going to do your hotel room blocks. I'm not going to charge you extra for that. I'm going to help you find vendors. I'm not going to charge you extra for that. I want them to feel that they're getting as much support as they can. I know that weddings are very expensive. I've seen invoices. I see bills all the time. And I don't want to be known as that person who says, oh, we can do that, but that's extra. Oh, we can do that, but that's extra. No, that's an add-on. That's extra. So I really try to make our packages as inclusive and give them as much as I possibly can and not constantly go, that's extra, that's extra, that's extra. And we try to go above and beyond. We want to provide them with as much as I don't want them to feel any more stressed or overwhelmed than they already are. They're already walking into this with all of these questions and what do we do and where do we go and when should we do this and how do we do this? And I don't want them to continue to feel that with us. I just want to kind of guide them and lead them down that path. And so I try to make that as easy as I can from the very beginning. For instance, coordination. Most coordinators will say, we'll touch base with you anywhere from 2 to 4 months out from your wedding. I don't do that. I don't care if your wedding is in 18 months. I'm going to start building your timeline now, and I'm going to start talking with you about things. If you need to start jumping on that vendor, interviewing vendors and start getting on that path, I'm going to start sending you those amazing vendors that we know, that we love, that we trust, that we work with. I'm not going to wait and push things off and make you feel even more stressed. So I think that does set me aside a lot because a lot of other coordinators won't do that. They're like, nope, we'll contact you when the time comes up. And I just don't do that.
Interesting. So if you had a quick bit of advice to give to yourself when you were leaving the limousine driving for weddings, starting to dip your toes in the water of all this, what would you tell yourself now?
At least do some consulting sessions with an actual small business consulting firm who can guide me on exactly what steps I need to take to build my business, and also immediately hire someone who knows what they're doing as far as building a website, maintaining that SEO and that marketing side of things. I did that for years on my own. It was the most stressful first 4 to 5 years of my life. I had no experience in a website, in SEO, in advertising, social media. I hate social media. I'm not going to lie. If I didn't own a business, I would not have social media. It is the bane of my existence. I have so much other things going on, and I know to stay relevant, you need to be on social media all the time. So I think I would have at least done some consulting with someone who can help you start your small business. This is how we're going to get your LLC. We're going to start this. And also contracts. I had very basic, horrible. I look back and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe that was my contract in 2013. It was embarrassing. But I learned, everyone does. But I would say if you have the ability, get with somebody who can kind of guide you to make it up so that you know that you're doing things right. You know, you're doing things the legal way. because it was a lot. I wasted so much time just trying to figure it out on my own, and I had no guidance at all. I wish I would have gotten some guidance.
Cool. Well, anything you'd like to share with our listeners or anything like that?
For couples out there, if you are just in this, beginning stages of, hey, we just got engaged, now what? I cannot stress enough. If you can't afford a full-fledged wedding planner, at least consider what people call wedding coordination, day of management. At least consider that, because that's really going to provide a lot of guidance, a lot of help. It's going to take so much stress off of your plate, and a good coordinator, a good wedding day manager. I can't stress that enough. I have seen brides come in just absolutely almost ready to have a nervous breakdown. And then they hire us, and within a week, she's like, I feel so much better. I actually slept all night because I know I have someone who's going to help me. So don't try to do it yourself. You don't have to. Really, vet those people, look at who they are, how long they've been in business, vet any of your vendors. Vet them, and never, ever, ever, never hire anybody who does not have a contract in place, a solid contract, and never just pass over money to somebody without a contract. We see this so often. Their pricing seems like it's amazing. Oh my God, it's great. And sometimes if it seems too good to be true, it usually is.
There you have it, folks. Live from Bretta. Thanks for joining us today, Bretta. This was really fun and insightful, and hopefully we could be working together soon, some dueling pianos at some of your weddings. Thanks for taking the time to join us on the podcast. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon, Bretta.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning, and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.